So here's a question. How can a movie populated by robot zombies and giant cities that drive around eating each other be boring? Mortal Engines is an action-adventure fantasy from director Christian Rivers, Universal Pictures, and Wingnut Films. The movie is based on the novel of the same name by Philip Reeve and stars Hera Hilmar, Robert Sheehan, Hugo Weaving, Jihae, Ronan Raftery, Leila George, and Stephen Lang. In a post-apocalyptic world where cities ride on wheels and consume each other to survive, two people meet in London and try to stop a conspiracy. Okay, so full disclosure, I was not a big fan of this movie at all. But let's talk about the good first. On a technical level, this movie is pretty darn impressive. Some of the visual effects look a little bit silly, particularly towards the end, but much of them are really, really good. And the production design is immaculate. The cities, the ships, the wastelands, all with that steampunk sensibility, they look phenomenal. And the costumes are super creative, they're really stylized, I really liked all of that. And the opening sequence of this movie is awesome. Hera Hilmar plays our female lead, and I thought she was really strong in the movie. She's badass, but she's also vulnerable, she's really good with the physicality, and she sold me on her whole backstory. I liked her a lot. Robert Sheehan, who plays Tom, was kind of annoying, but I think he was supposed to be, and I was mostly on board with his character by the end of the movie. Now, I love Hugo Weaving. I'm a big fan of Hugo Weaving. I did not like what he did in this movie at all. It was really over-the-top cartoon villainy, and it just didn't work for me. And this movie cribs a lot of elements from other better movies. Mad Max Fury Road and Snowpiercer came to mind immediately, and the movie also kind of goes full Star Wars by the end. And for a movie with such an original concept, I found it really frustrating how unoriginal this movie was. Speaking of cribbing, Mortal Engines was written by the writing team of Peter Jackson, Philippa Boyens, and Fran Walsh. These are the people, of course, who wrote the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And you can tell, and unfortunately, I don't mean that in a good way. The language is very, very similar, almost exactly the same, despite the fact that one took place many, many years ago in Middle-earth, and the other one takes place 3,000 years from now in our own world. There were actually a couple lines of dialogue lifted straight out of the Lord of the Rings, and I found that really frustrating. So I've heard that before, and it was said by Gandalf, which is better. I also think this movie has a very Terry Gilliam sensibility. It feels like Terry Gilliam should have made this movie. It looks like it would have been right up his alley, and I think it would have been a better product. Now, having said that, to his credit, the director of this film, Christian Rivers, it was his first feature, and he went huge. So kudos to that. That takes balls. Overall, this movie is big, it's loud, it's cool looking, it's got some neat ideas, but ultimately it never really took off. It went on way too long, and I just was not able to connect with it really at all. There were a couple of emotional beats that worked for me, but for the most part, I was left pretty cold. But the robot zombie was cool. Now, I don't have a proprietary rating system as of yet, so I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to give Mortal Engines, and I think I'm going to give Mortal Engines a...
Boring, Sydney. Boring, boring. Boring, boring, boring. Exterminate! Exterminate!
Out of 10. So now I want to know, have you seen Mortal Engines? What did you think about it? I know this isn't a Peter Jackson movie, but what is your favorite Peter Jackson movie? Whatever your thoughts, hit the comments below. Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this review, please smash that like button and give it a share if you really enjoyed it. And hey, why not take a second, do me a favor, click subscribe and ring that bell to subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews, entertainment news, trailer reactions, all that good stuff. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.